The,
Yeah, you actually, I think you have to do
year, right?
yeah, and then that minus one.
One. And then month, year, day, year.
I think you still have to tell it month and day.
Yeah, sorry.
Expense. Liverpool expense.
And now we use the same trick, no? Yep.
That gives you that. So you could, I mean, technically you really don't even need that range at this, well, at that point, because, you know, unless you're building a second set of columns. Right? The way we've got this set up, if we wanted, is this, okay, so you're gonna do all the current year and then compare it to the previous year? Like, or is this all gonna be one chunk, right? Balance budget, previous year, balance budget, previous year.
Yes.
Well,
I'm just joking.
No, it's okay.
Yes, no, it's,
yeah, if you want to do 3, then we actually don't even need those start date and end dates. I thought you were going to build a separate one. So go ahead and hit OK. So now we're going to include the previous year. So now you just use that date trick. So you can probably copy that formula and just point at the cell right next to it, that 4-1. So instead of C3, point to I10, I think it is.
yeah. No.
Well, that's still, this second one's pointing at C4 still. And we want it to point at I, whatever it is.
What happens if there's,
I mean, for J, right, we just want to see what I10 is less 1 year. So this cell,
Instead
to
of
get the date
C3.
from that cell, so change C3 in this to I,
10.
and that would still replicate.
yep, yeah, it's part of
This
that group
range
now.
doesn't matter. This range, since we're telling it to go through a range.
Right, so what it's going to do is it's going to build these 3 columns for every date in that range, and then we're in one of those columns, we're creating, hey, look at that date and tweak it.
Question.
Sure.
If there's accounts then in, well, I guess we're pulling every account, so it doesn't really matter
Mhm.
if it has a balance or not. I was afraid if it was only to be selective, if we were selective to the point where balance or
Right.
something not equal to 0,
Yeah,
if
then
it was stuck on this range,
Then what you could do is what you would build in your replicator over here is you would build that range, give me the accounts where there's a balance sometime between this start date and that end date.
okay.
And so you get this 2-year span and show me all the accounts where the balance is not 0, somewhere in the 2-year range. But if you're just comparing, if we're going to list them all out, that's how I would do that. So yeah, if you were to run that right now, you'd have balance budget for current year, previous year, separate budget.
So how come it doesn't display those functions in those,
Like here and here and here.
well, go like plant name, go down to, there's a formula there.
Right here.
Yeah.
The reason is because we can see the key is blank right now. Right, so it's looking at that key and saying, give me every plant name. Now, even if there was a key here, this might, the first record it might find might be a blank value, which I think in this case it was a blank value. A blank value is still a value in the database. In certain fields, you can have that. So if we were to run that again,
I mean,
we
can
can-
run it again.
yeah, we could unhide the the rows and the columns, or the, whatever it is that we want to unhide, that key. And we'll see, certain keys, right? See, this one doesn't have a department, this one doesn't have a plant matched up with that account, right? Because this was your beginning balance one, right? So you wouldn't have a plant or a department associated with that. But this account, 5100, is associated with all these plants and these departments.
So we got some weird dates.
Let's see, that is some strange dates. You don't want a couple
Did
thousand
you lock
years in there?
down, did you lock
Oh yeah,
down
do we?
that equal?
Oh, because we're pointing at C3 for that previous year instead of looking at the I9.
Yeah.
So our end dates are all right. Go back into design and just change the J9 to say, there you go. That should work.
Do you also want it going back? No, I don't. Yeah.
You can always color code, the columns for the previous years are different colors, so they stand out a little bit more or whatever it is. And
Okay. So I'm surprised that we were able to overcome the budget issue so easily. You thought I was going to say something else.
Well, no, I'm glad too, because as I was thinking about budget and I saw those things, I was like, holy cow, how in the world are we going to get anything that has to do with that? But, it makes sense. It just seems like a lot of budget entry to have to do.
Yeah.
It seems like there would be a better way.
That money there is.
But there's also a way to still use our same accounts.
You know what? You can look at
That
your
ship
boss.
sailed.
Don't look at me.
Who denied that?